Hi guys and welcome. This is Stuart and I want to welcome you to this month's success tip. I ummed and ahed about what to do with this one, and I thought this was appropriate as I feel more and more pressure coming on people as the world's economic problems tend to infiltrate every areas of their life and what's going on in the big picture, and it's got a number of people concerned. So I thought we'd just jump straight to it, and this month's success tip actually comes from a lady called Bronnie Ware. Bronnie Ware was a Australian palliative nurse, and at the end of it all, she wrote a book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And I think it is a valuable thing always to go to the end goal, the end game, and see from that point of view, looking back, how you might have played the game differently. I guess if you were to envision a battlefield and if you could take yourself up high and see everything that was going on, you'd have a much better perspective on how you might play that game or that battle, as it were. So this one is dedicated to Bronnie and her book, and I'm just going to punch out these 5 and give you my interpretation of them. So the top 5 regrets of the dying. Sounds somber, but we might get a nice surprise out of this and a little secret at the end. So number 1, I'm going to suggest it's this. Live an authentic life. That is, be true to yourself. You have to quit living somebody else's life. Bronnie suggested that in the final weeks of most people's lives that she nursed, that they all regretted not living their own life, doing exactly the things that they wanted to do. I saw an interview with Paul Hogan recently, and it was on TV. I don't watch much of it, but I happened to catch this for some reason. And I think Paul said that he lost his father rather early or something similar, and this experience gave him the thing that, hey, if there's something you want to do in life, go and do it. Do it immediately and do it now. Don't wait for tomorrow, next year, next week, nothing. Just get out and do it now. And I think you've got to quit worrying about what other people think of you. It is your life, and you need to make sure you live that in an authentic way. The story I always tell is about a dentist I knew. This dentist was 44. I met him a while ago. I said, "Do you enjoy it?" He said, "No, I hate it." I said, "Why do you do it?" He said, "My mum told me it would be a good career to do once I left school." I said, "What does she think now?" She said, "She's dead. She's been dead for over 20 years. Man, talk about being controlled beyond the grave. Anyway, you've got to live your life. It's got to be authentic. Now, I'm not saying be reckless and don't be considerate of others around you, but this thing only works when you are authentic, when you live your own life. So that was number 1. Number 2, I don't think you'll find too surprising. Number 2 is they wish they didn't work so hard. There's no one, I believe, on their deathbed says, you know, I wish I'd spent more time in the office. They always said they wish I'd spent more time with friends and family. Now, I don't have any children at this point in time, and so it could be potentially a little bit different, but I understand many family men, one of their greatest joys in doing what they do is for their family and their children, yet they don't spend the time there with them to enjoy that and see that happen. So one of their greatest regrets, particularly of men, is they say they wish they didn't work so hard. You know, at the end result, you know, money, give or take, but it's life's experiences that count and what you shared with your friends and family. So number 2 was don't work so hard. Now you can work out whether that's working less or smarter or whatever, but we'll go from there. But I certainly think you need to look at what you're doing with your time and get systems or strategies that can give you time freedom and a greater financial result. Number 3, kind of interesting. People wish they'd expressed their feelings more. Now, we live in a culture that doesn't really promote, in general, the expression of feelings, particularly for a male in our society. We're always taught to, we're paranoid against emotion. Big boys don't cry, keep a stiff upper lip, all that sort of stuff. Yet this leads to perhaps truncated communication and not honestly expressing our feelings and emotions with people. You know, sooner or later in life it's going to happen that the people around you that are closest to you, you are going to see them for the last time ever. Now, you don't know when that's going to be. So maybe we need to treat it every time we see someone as though it's going to be the last time we see them ever. And maybe expressing how you feel might be a value or a wealth that could be well expressed. I'm always saying there are many, many forms of wealth. Money is one of them, and an important one. However, they are way more valuable ones above that. I'm always suggesting your health, which ties back into number 2. Don't work so hard. To work and sacrifice or spend your health for that, not sure that's a smart thing to be doing. So there's number 3. Number 4 was about staying in touch with I've written up here more friends. It didn't mean more friends. What she said is they wish they had stayed in touch with their friends from their past. Again, I think this gives a richness and a value to your life. And, in particular, friends from your past, you can't replace that. I've got a best mate from when I was 13, from 13 to, mid-20s. That time you just cannot replace that growing up, those teenage years and all that sort of stuff. So once a month I have a thing called Guy Night. I went to an all-boys school, fancily enough, a state school, and most of my mates when I was young were male because of that. So once a month now, a couple of my good mates and my brother, we have a thing called Guy Night. A couple of my modern friends as well. But generally once a month we catch up. We might watch some sport, we talk about what's going on, we have a meal, some takeaway, all that sort of stuff. But it's a fun thing, and it's nice to catch up, and it's enriching spending more time with them. So spend more time or staying in touch with your good friends is very good. And the 5th one, I think you're going to find this fantastic. The 5th one was to be happier. Now this one's quite surprising for some people, because at the end of their lives, in the last 12 weeks of their lives, they all realised that happiness was in fact a choice. Despite what happens to you, despite the bad things, the challenges, all that sort of stuff, happiness is a choice. You see, a lot of people have great things happen to them and choose to be miserable. A lot of people have bad stuff happen to them and choose to be happy. And if you're ever doubtful of that, go and travel the world, some of the world's third world nations, or poorer nations, and see. I constantly in the world's surveys of happiness, Cuba and Thailand, some of the less developed or financial people in the world are absolutely amongst the happiness. It is ultimately a choice, and we can learn a lot from them. So I want to leave you now with a final point of this 5 steps. And it goes a little bit like this. Alright, if you can read that, it says life is primary, money secondary. So I hope you get that right. Most people haven't. Life is primary, money secondary. Money is meant to make you have a great life. Hey, if you want to get back at them, if you want to live a great life and have the ultimate revenge on anything or anyone in this lifetime, here's what you do. Have a beautiful life. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this success tip. Thank you to Miss Ware for the tips and the book that she published. And I'm off to go and spend time with some friends. Till next month, this is Stuart.